Have you ever downloaded a game on your Steam Deck thinking that is going to be the perfect cozy game, and then the text is tiny, the controls feel weird, and you're fighting with what Proton to use, or your battery just starts disappearing in like an hour? That is sure one way to make me not play it on my Steam Deck. So I kind of went on a mission to find some cozy games that don't just run on the Steam Deck, but actually feel really good to play it. Like games that are smooth, easy to read, just feel really natural on the controller layout, and just fit the whole just laying around kind of vibe. Plus, these are all without any forced compatibility Proton. So if you're looking for something cozy to play, here are some games that genuinely feel like they were made for the Steam Deck. First up is Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time, and this one I really like it. If you ever played a cozy life sim and thought, I just wish there was a little bit more to do, this game kind of fixes that, because instead of just farming or decorating, you get to choose different lives, which are basically your jobs. So you can be a fisherman, a cook, a miner, even like a full-on knight. And each one has its own progression, so it never really feels repetitive. Like one minute you're just chilling, fishing, or chopping trees, and the next you're out there fighting monsters or exploring. And this is where it feels really good on the Steam Deck, because everything is broken into these small little tasks. You can hop in, just do a few things, switch what you're doing, and then get off without feeling stuck or overwhelmed. The controls feel really natural, and it runs at a smooth 60 FPS. Everything is easy to read, and nothing feels cramped on the screen. And since it tracks all your quests, you can easily come back later and not feel lost at all. It just fits that pick up, play for a bit, and relax kind of vibe perfectly. Now, another cozy game that feels really good on the Steam Deck is Dinkum. If you like Animal Crossing but want a little bit more freedom, this is that game. You're building up a town from nothing, gathering, fishing, farming, decorating, inviting villagers, all the whole works. And there's always something to work towards, but it never feels overwhelming. It's more like, okay, I'll just do one thing, and then suddenly hours have passed. And on the Steam Deck, this is one of those games where you just completely lose track of time. It's not perfect though, like the FPS can be a little bit all over the place, and the text starts off pretty small, but you can fix that in the settings. But once you get it all set up, the controls start to feel really natural, and you're not fighting with anything, so you can just stay in that flow state. It's perfect for laying down, starting it up, and kind of just zoning out for a bit, even without realizing how long you've been playing for. Next up is Moonstone Island, and if you like farming games but also love creature collecting, this one is going to be so much fun for you. You're living on these floating islands, farming, crafting, decorating, and collecting spirit creatures to battle with, which I love because it really breaks up that usual farming loop and gives you something else to focus on. And exploration is a huge part of it too. Every island feels a little different, so you're always finding something new to do. But the biggest reason this feels so good on the Steam Deck is just how clear everything is. It can hit up to 90 FPS, so everything feels really smooth and polished. The pixel art is super clean, like nothing feels super small, and you're never squinting to read the menus or just figure out what's going on. It runs smooth, the controls feel natural, and it's just really easy to sit back and play. And since the game naturally breaks into these little exploration trips, also really easy to just pick it up, play for a bit, and then put it back down. It fits that handheld really well without you having to really think about it. Now, if you want something a little bit more playful, Slime Rancher is just pure fun. Like, it's chaos, but in a good way. You're running around collecting these little slimes with a vacuum, bringing them back, feeding them, and upgrading your ranch. And it starts off calm and then just slowly turns into complete chaos. But on the Steam Deck, this one feels really good. You're not stuck in menus the whole time. You're mostly just running around collecting things and interacting with the world, and all of that feels really smooth on the controller. It can hit pretty high FPS, like around 100, but it does fluctuate a bit sometimes. Still, it runs well overall, and since you're always moving, you don't really feel those dips. Since I already played this on controller before, it just felt really natural on the Steam Deck, and that's what makes a big difference on the handheld for me. Now, if you enjoy the classic JRPGs but want something a little bit different, Octopath Traveler 0 honestly surprised me. It still has that turn-based combat, but instead of following just one main story you're jumping jumping in between multiple characters, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It helps keep things feeling fresh, and slowly connecting all the stories together was really satisfying. And on the Steam Deck, this works really well because of the pacing. Since it is turn-based, you're never rushed. You can take your time, think about what you want to do, or even just pause and come back without feeling stressed, which honestly fits perfectly with handheld. It sits around 30 to 60 FPS, but since it's a turn-based game, it still feels really smooth. And visually, the HD 2D style looks really good on the smaller screen, and it actually kind of shines here. Some of the UI elements though can feel a little bit small at times, but overall it's very easy to play on handheld. Now for something more exploration focused, Collector's Cove is honestly one I've been really excited about. Instead of traveling by boat, you're riding across the ocean on a giant sea companion, which is already a win for me. And as you explore, you're gathering resources, finding new islands, and just slowly building things up over time. And the whole game just feels really calming. And on the Steam Deck, this works really well because of how slow and intentional everything is. Nothing feels rushed. So whether you're fishing, gathering, or just moving between islands, it all happens at a really relaxed pace. It mostly sits around the 30 FPS mark, sometimes pushing it a little bit higher, but for this kind of slower game pace, it still felt pretty smooth. Everything was really easy to read, the controls feel natural, and nothing really feels overwhelming. It's honestly the kind of game where you can just sit back, get comfortable, and kind of just get lost in it. If you want something with a lot of personality, Snacko is basically a cozy town builder, but everyone is a cat, which was already enough for me. You're farming, gathering materials, decorating your town, and just slowly bringing everything back to life. And there's a lot of freedom with how you design everything, which I really liked. On the Steam Deck, this feels really good because of just how simple everything is to manage. You're not digging through complicated menus or trying to remember a bunch of systems. It runs really smooth at a 60 FPS, and everything is clean and easy to read, and the controls just feel really natural here. It's all straightforward, so you can just relax and focus on what you're doing. And honestly, it just feels like the perfect Steam Deck game. Now, another one that is a little bit different is Cozy Caravan. Instead of running a farm or building up a town, you're a traveling merchant. So you're moving between different places, crafting items, and trading goods as you go. And the whole game is just very relaxing. There's no pressure, no rush, and you're just kind of doing things at your own pace. And on the Steam Deck, this is perfect for those short little cozy sessions. It runs around 40 to 60 FPS and feels really smooth, and just everything was super easy to read, and the controls just work well. You can hop in, do a few trades, explore a little, and stop whenever you want. It's just really easy to pick up, play for a bit, and then put down without feeling pulled in too deep. Now, if you want something a little bit more mysterious, Strange Antiquities has a cozy vibe with a slight spooky twist. You're running an occult shop, identifying artifacts, and researching what they are. So a lot of the game is spent reading, looking through books, and interacting with different items, which normally wouldn't feel great on the Steam Deck. But this is one of those rare cases where it actually works pretty well. It runs really smooth around like 90 FPS, and everything is really easy to read. You can even adjust the text size to make it more comfortable. The controls can feel a little bit weird at first since you're moving around a cursor, but once you get used to it, it's actually really smooth to play. If you like pixel art games with a bit more of an adventure feel, Under the Island is a really nice mix of cozy and mystery. You're exploring, gathering resources, helping out with quests, and slowly uncovering what's going on in the world. And there's always that feeling that there's something just a little bit further out there to discover. On the Steam Deck, this game is absolutely perfection because everything just feels clear and really easy to follow. It runs at a smooth 60 FPS, and everything is easy to read. The controls feel really natural here, though you're not struggling at all to see what is going on or where you need to go. It's really easy to just pick it up, start playing, and I actually got a little bit sidetracked while testing it out again for this video. It feels really comfortable to play on handheld, honestly. For something a little bit different, we have Little Rocket Lab, which is all about building, upgrading rockets while helping out a small town. You're gathering materials, completing tasks, and slowly improving your tech over time. And everything is broken down into these smaller goals, which makes it really satisfying to play. On the Steam Deck, this one works really well because of just how task-based it is. It runs at a smooth 60 FPS, and everything just flows really nicely, and the controls controls feel natural. You can hop in, complete a couple things, make some progress, and then get off without feeling stuck mid-task. Some things I will say feel a little bit small on the screen, but overall it's really easy to just keep making progress in. If you like cozy games with a little bit of a magical vibe, Ritual of Raven is really unique. You're growing magical plants, crafting spells, and performing different rituals. And the whole game just feels very calm and a little whimsical. On the Steam Deck, it plays really well because of how slow-paced it is. You're not rushing through anything, you can take your time, figure things out, and just kind of enjoy the process of the game, which fits really nice on handheld. It runs at a steady 60 FPS and the controls feel natural, so nothing really gets in your way. Some of the text and items can feel small at times, probably because of the pixel art style, so it is not perfect, but it works. And since the game moves at a slower pace, it never felt frustrating. It's still a really relaxing game overall. Now next up is MISC, A Tiny Tale. You're playing as a tiny little robot in a world that feels huge, which honestly reminds me so much of Chibi Robo, and that's what makes this exploration so much fun. Everything around you feels oversized, so even small areas feel interesting to move through. On the Steam Deck, this feels really good because it's just easy to play. It sits around 50 FPS, which still feels pretty smooth for this kind of game. The controls are simple, nothing feels overly complicated, and you're not just dealing with a bunch of systems at once. So you can just focus on exploring and enjoying the world. It's one of those games that you can pick up, wander around for a bit, and then put it down without thinking too much about it. And I think the levels really help with this. It's just honestly a really nice and relaxing game. Now, if you enjoy management style games, Discounty lets you run your own shop. You're stocking shelves, organizing products, helping customers, and slowly growing your business over time. And there's something really satisfying about keeping everything running smoothly. On the Steam Deck, this works really well because it doesn't rely on super precise inputs. It runs at around 90 FPS, so everything feels really smooth. You're taking your time, organizing things, and making small decisions as you go. It translates really nicely to controller without feeling clunky or frustrating. The UI is really clean and everything is just easy to read, and the controls feel really seamless. It's more slow and methodical than fast-paced, which really makes it comfortable to play on handheld. You can just settle in, manage your shop, and before you know it, you're playing way longer than you originally planned for. And finally, we have Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. This is a farming sim, but instead of just shipping your items off, you're actually selling them yourself at the bazaar, which makes everything feel a little bit more interactive and hands-on. You're still farming, gathering, and building things up, but you're now directly involved in that final step. And on the Steam Deck, this is just the perfect game. It runs at a smooth 90 FPS, and everything is easy to read, the UI feels really clean, and it's just made for smaller screens. The controls feel really natural and smooth, so nothing feels awkward or forced. The gameplay loop is pretty relaxing and only sometimes feels a little overwhelming. It's just one of those classic cozy games that feels right at home on handheld. So yeah, those are some cozy games that don't just run on the Steam Deck, but actually feel really good to play on it. Because not every game that works on the Steam Deck really fits it, and these are ones that actually do. I did make a couple of other videos with more Steam Deck game recommendations, so if you're looking for more, be sure to check those out as well. I'm curious though, what are some of your favorite cozy games on the Steam Deck? Because you know me, I'm always looking for more games to play. So if this video helped you find something new, be sure to like and subscribe for more cozy gaming content, and until next time, so happy gaming.